Hello, hello, welcome, channeling numbers, and this is also being live streamed on YouTube. So, welcome. We're just going to wait for a couple of people to join in on the call. And as you are landing into the call, I'm going to invite you to please say hello. For those of you who are new to either YouTube or to channeling numbers, my name is Arlene Grace, and I am a master numerologist. I'm a channel, spiritual mentor, and an alchemist. And specifically, we're pulling for new moon solar eclipse personal breakthrough readings today. I love eclipses because eclipses, and I'm not an astrologist, but I've experienced eclipses. And eclipses bring light to the shadow through surprising and shocking events. They make you aware of truths, perhaps painful truths that may have been avoided, that you may not have looked at. And we're in Libra. And so Libra is all about finding balance and harmony. It's finding the beauty, it's finding the luxury, it's about relationships. And so we're really looking at the relationship dynamics. And it is inviting in a shedding of your old patterns of perhaps compromising your own feelings for others, for caring about how we are perceived by others, for people pleasing. And so there's this invitation in these patterns to be willing to speak up for yourself, to be willing to create boundaries, saying no, to speak on behalf of yourself, to be in service to yourself first and then others, and allowing yourself to move through the discomfort of that, right? I know that I've had experiences with eclipses, and I remember that I went through an experience, I think it was 2017, and I really wanted to break through something. And so during a solar eclipse, I actually put my hands out to God and I said, all right, God, so I need your help. I need you to help me with this, this, and this. And to make it as easy as possible, please. And within 2 hours, I received a mentor. My mentor was teaching a new program, and the program was exactly what it was that I was looking for me to break through. And within 2 days, the muse, the protagonist of my experience, my story, died suddenly, very suddenly. And it created this surprise in my experience that allowed for me to move through this journey of seeing myself more deeply, of forgiveness, of breaking through. And so my curiosity for all of you is to really think about, what are the areas in your life that have been rising up for you to see? What's been challenging you? And has there been a theme? Hello, Joanne. And so I'm going to invite, because I'm pulling cards, I'm going to invite you to share your questions so that we can pull some cards. Some of the questions can be what's rising up to be seen through this eclipse for me to break through. Good morning. Some of you, I won't be able to see your names because I'm StreamYarding. So feel free to share your name. Hello, Sharon. Yeah, awesome. So please share your questions and we'll start pulling. So Sharon, or Sharon, is saying, good morning, Arlene. I am wondering if the eclipse is related to my recent overthinking about different things. I believe you are so right in that this has to do with old patterns. Absolutely. I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath. There's a lot of energy that's moving through the heart that's wanting to be released. And so we're going to invite that and direct it to move up through the body. It's now moving through the throat. You might be coughing because I want to. Yeah, so recent overthinking about different things. Interesting. I feel like there's a theme. Regardless of the different things, there's a theme. I feel the theme, but we're going to let that show up in the cards. Yeah. So there definitely is a change that's happening in your experience, and the change is happening from inside out, and you're beginning to see the manifestation, the materialization in your life. And so as these things are starting to fall into place, which feels very slow, right? The physical experience is starting to fall into place. Your ego, or the way of being, the way that was comfortable, the patterns are actually trying to hold on to keep you safe or to keep you from changing. And so there's a hyper vigilance that's happening with your body, mind, or your ego that is holding on, right? And so I'm just going to invite you to take a deep breath, because it's now moving up through the head, through the brain. Are you willing to continue to claim what it is that you desire, to continue to walk on path, walk on purpose in the direction of what you're desiring, and to let this fall away? Your result is Ace of Spades, which means it's a rebirth. You are rebirthing into something new. In fact, how I'm seeing you is that you would look very different, or you would experience yourself very different at the end of this, or on the other side of this. And part of you is holding back because you're afraid that you're leaving people behind. But this actually is creating an invitation for people to join you on path. They're actually already feeling the inspiration to do that, but because your mind is holding on to it, you're not seeing it. And so are you willing to break through, to walk through the fire on purpose, being the fullest expression of who you are? And if you allow yourself to do that, on the other side of it is, one, a deeper connection with you, to source, to God, to universe, to creator. But you're also going to experience those people that you think are going to be gone, or new people that are in alignment with who you are, with where you're going, with what you're doing. Um, yeah. And so I'm curious if that's resonating with you. All the cards are black, which tells me this is all inner work. This is all inspired within you, through you. And I feel like in a couple of weeks, you'll actually be taking outer actions in response to all of this. So I think it's brilliant. Keep on going, keep on moving. When the mind is continuing, I think part of what's happening with the mind is you're having this mind spin. And in this mind spin, you're almost berating yourself for having this mind spin, but that's part of the pattern. That every single time your mind spins and you judge it, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. Oh, I should be okay. I've done all of these frequency upgrades. I've done all of this work. Why am I still playing in this pattern? That pattern itself is what's holding it in place. And every time we move into that place where you berate yourself, where you judge yourself, you're closing yourself off from love. And so your heart is actually going to play a beautiful tool for you as you play with this. When the mind jumps in and it plays in that judgment, you tap into the heart, tap into the body, and notice, is my heart open or is it closed? And if it's closed, to focus on opening the heart and to allow just the energy to flow through, and to decide to claim, I'm going to keep on going. I'm inviting you, mind, to come with me. I'm inviting you, mind, to come with me. I open my heart. I open my heart to you. Let's keep on going. Yeah, brilliant. Because you're going to get your people. You're going to have the connections that you truly want. So I love that. And know that because we're all in this space and we're sharing the energy, and you're sharing your energy, that whether you are live or on the replay, that many of these questions and responses will may activate something within you and may resonate for you as well. So love that. Ooh, I'm going to invite everyone to take a deep breath. Okay, Lisa. Could it be what has happened this last week, or is it specifically on within a couple of days or after the day? I'm asking, is one major shift has just happened, and to know if another is expected. Oh, great question. Many times we can already begin to feel the patterns rising up to be seen, so that we can begin to actually feel the theme and to feel the pattern, because it's actually coming up into the light and it's coming up through the body. It's an access point that's moving through you. And so I know yesterday I spent the day in forgiveness. I'm laughing, but it's true. I spent the day in forgiveness, moving through forgiveness, knowing that many of the things that we're moving through is connected to the energy that's here, that's rising up. So let's see. My feeling, my sense is that for you, Lisa, it is connected to what happened last week, and there's more. There's more. It's actually deeper, whatever is going to happen. And it's not to wait for something to happen to you. It's to just be curious and to continue to live your life, but in that curiosity, being present in the moment. And so I feel like there's a depth that you haven't yet experienced to this situation. And I'm also feeling that the mind really wants to grab on hold to an answer, because the mind really wants to control the experience itself. So let's see what the cards pull. What the cards pull. Yeah. So it feels like whatever is happening for you is connected to your value and your willingness to express on behalf of your value, on behalf of yourself. You've been moving through this love journey for quite some time of loving yourself, of moving that out into what it is that you share out in the world, how it is that you express, how it is that you connect to others. But now what's happening is there's this crack that's happening within your root, within your sacral, that's opening up to allow for you to really lend and deepen in your own knowingness of your inherent value and the willingness to express from that place. It's interesting because the way that I'm experiencing you is that it's almost like your voice is going to change. In that, like almost like your voice gets deeper in this knowingness. And I don't know if it's just a frequency that I'm feeling. I can't imagine that your voice would change, but who knows? That's possible. But it's like this certainty, this surety, this like commandment, this commanding energy of, I know who I am, I know what I want, and this is the direction that I'm going in. And so as you're continuing to experience, I feel people will be coming in to actually bounce this off of you, to bounce these experiences of, do you value yourself now? Do you value yourself now? Do you value yourself now? Are you going to take a step now? And part of this can be, I'm seeing, might be experienced with money itself. I almost feel like I'm seeing your workplace that's connected to it. So it can be people from your workplace, or it can be work itself that's happening for you. So your action is to release the past, to release where the mind wants to hold on to the past, to release where the mind wants to hold on to how people are, and to actually imagine that you can create these, to see these people as blank canvases as well, because part of what's happening for you is you're expecting people to respond the way that they used to based on who you thought you were, but you're not that person. And so as you're continuing to grow and expand, it's this, I'm going to see this person as brand new today. I know that we've had a past, I know that we've had an experience, but I'm going to be curious. I'm not going to have an attachment or an expectation as to how they're going to receive me or respond to me. I'm actually going to leave that blank, and I'm going to allow them to connect with me or to converse with me. And in that, I get to see the truth. And so there's a distortion that's leaving with this pattern, so that you can begin to see the truth of how you've been relating based on your own value. And it almost feels like this taking off of these rose-colored glasses. And so, for an example, if you had if you were imagining that someone, if someone wasn't treating you well in the past, and they continued to play that out in your mind and continue to play that out in the story, and you were to see this person and just allow them to show up as they are, because you've changed, which means that they can change, that you would actually begin to see the truth of who they actually are, to see the truth of whether they've actually changed. And so in that, this is actually going to create new pathways of how you create experiences, new experiences for you. It will actually create an experience of not choosing the same. You'll be moving on new pathways, because you're now noticing that doing the same thing wasn't getting you anywhere. Relating with the same people was not getting you anywhere. Expecting and attaching to people in the way that you did or how they would look was not working. And so this actually propels you forward into doing things in a new way that you might not even notice right away because it will be nuanced, but later on, like I see 3-4 months down the road, you'll actually see your physical experience will be quite different. Whether that's the people that you are surrounding yourself with, or what you're doing in service in the world, all of those things. So that's really exciting. Holy cannoli. Okay. So this person, awesome. Hello, newbie. Okay, so I'm not sure who this person is because it says Facebook user. So there's a bunch of Facebook users here. Good morning, everyone. Yeah. All right. So issues around value, attachment, and who the fuck I am arising feels heavy, frustrating, but necessary on some level. Absolutely. What's rising up right now is the allowance. Are you willing to allow yourself to be different? And when I say be different, really land into your own being. To be different, to express different, to move different, because when you're so connected to who you are, you can't help but express in such a different way that people will respond to you in a different way as feedback. But what I'm feeling with you is there's been some, I want to say, rigidity in patterns. And so as I'm feeling your morphogenic field, and your morphogenic field is filled with your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, your beliefs, your desires, and it's constantly changing, it feels as though what's here around you is tight, that there's not a lot of change that's happening here. And I feel that it's connected to love and how you love yourself, and connected to what you might have experienced in childhood, in how you interpreted how others loved you. So let's see. Yeah. The question that rises up is, what would it feel like to just love myself freely? To be free to love myself, what would it feel like to be whole in my being, to feel myself filled with my energy, not others. And you can just experience that now in this moment. Okay. There's a little bit of shifting in the energy here. So there's some energy moving through the throat. So we'll allow that to move, and through the heart, some grief. So it definitely feels like there's a disruption that's happening for you, so that you can begin to see. So the nature of your relationships, from what I see, is very contractual. And so contractual meaning, are you relating with someone or with people in your life where I do this in order to receive this, or I have to do this in order to be loved, in order to be valued, in order to be this? Am I people pleasing? Am I willing to express myself fully? Am I afraid of being alone? And there's this nature or this dynamic where it's almost tied. It feels as though it's tied to money. And I know that it's diamonds, but it's the example of being a stay-at-home mom and having support from your husband because your husband's the one that's working, and not really seeing your own value as being a stay-at-home mom who's taking care of the home, who's managing the home, cleaning the home, caring for the nurturing of the family, making the meals, loving the people, doing all of the things, and creating the support system that is available here. And so in that, not seeing your own value with that. And so you're being invited to really look at yourself, to see your skills, to see what it is that you do, to actually honor that, to hone in on the value of what it is that you express in the world, the value of being a stay-at-home mom per se, or being a mom, or all of those things. And so as you start to allow for this to rise up for you, what's happening for you is there's a shakeup in your own physical world, where the fixed ideas of how things are supposed to work in the house, we'll say, or at work or with your money is really shaking up in connection to this. And so, are you willing to allow your fixed ideas of how I am in contractual agreements with people to fall away so that I can create more flow in my body, in my energy, in my thoughts of who I think I am, of how I want to relate with other people, in my home life, in my business or career, if that's the case, and um, and deepening into who I am as a human, who I am as a woman, who I am in my value, my inherent value. And so there will be a release. There will be endings that are happening in your own physical experience. And so things may be falling away, things may be falling into entropy. It's almost like, um, what's a good example? Something that keeps on breaking down. So imagining you had like a really, really old car and it just kept on falling apart. And part of it was because it wasn't taken care of. And so it's falling apart. You're just taking it to the mechanic over and over again, but it's falling away. It's time to bring in a new one. In order to get a new one, you got to get rid of the old. And so will be, as a result of all of this, things that are falling away. But the things that are falling away aren't necessarily required by you. And it's actually creating a space for new things to come into place, into form, new things that are connected to you as a person, as how you value yourself, all of the things. And so this is actually a blessing that happens that you may not see, but it's one of those things that would be called a blessing in disguise. So let me know how that resonates. And if you guys are new and we haven't connected yet, I'd love to invite you in to do a 30-minute free reading where I dive into your numbers, to your birth card, and do a little bit of channeling so that you can get to see yourself just a little bit more deeply. All right. Joanne, what is a good way for me to find a new balance in my life? It's funny, I can see you sitting on the couch. But I think I've only ever seen you on Zoom sitting on a couch, so that makes sense. But I do see you on the couch, and I see you contemplating, and you're kind of looking around the room, and you're looking at the shelf that's across from you, and you're looking at the things that are there. And it's possible that you're feeling inspired to move into action. Now, I remember we did a reading sometime this week, and I was thinking that you were in Neptune, and it is. You are in Neptune for the entire year because you're ending a 7-year cycle. I did the math. And so in that, it feels very dreamlike, but it also feels like there's a lot of, inspiration that's moving you into the beginning of a new 7-year cycle, where you might have already noticed that there's a lot of endings and completions that have happened for you. But as you are moving into this place, it isn't a time to be complacent either, because all of these things are going to rise up so that you can clear the karma and begin a new life. So my curiosity is, are you holding yourself back from the experience of it? And is there an inherent fear of what it looks like? If that makes sense. Yeah. So as you're moving through this journey, you're actually letting go. So same card, different place, 4 of diamonds. You're letting go of fixed ideas of how things are meant to be, how things are supposed to look. You've gone through a couple of changes like retirement and shifting in the dynamic of how you love yourself, how you see yourself. You've actually changed how your house looks. And as you are continuing to do this, there's other ideas or constructs that you have within your own mind in how life is supposed to look. And you're being invited to almost allow all of that to fall away, to allow yourself to actually receive the fulfillment of love that's trying to come through. It feels like this is community. This could be people that are wanting to be with you. This could be you being immersed and surrounded by people. And so you've been on this journey, and it's been an inward journey of you loving yourself. And now it's time for you to experience that with others so that you can begin to receive the fulfillment of that from others. And it creates a new opportunity for growth. It's easy to love yourself when you're alone, but when we're with others, it creates a dynamic. And when it creates a dynamic, we actually begin to see where we hold ourselves back from receiving love, and the patterns that we have that are connected to that. And so this is part of the shakeup, and this is part of what's falling away. Get out of the house, do the things, receive the fulfillment. And this is actually going to create a deeper sense of trust for you, not just within yourself and with the divine, but with people, with the outside world. And so it's fascinating because you began this journey. I think the first time you and I connected, you were not necessarily leaving the house. You weren't wanting to get to the grocery store and doing all these things. Now we're going deeper. Get out there, be in community, be with people, be with groups of people, lead in the way that you want to lead. And it's going to create, and I can feel the throat, it's going to create an expansion for you and a deeper trust for humanity itself is how it feels. A deeper trust for, I feel like there's like swarms, there's like lots of new people that are wanting to be with you. And so it's like trust of relationships, of people, of dynamics, new people. And it's going to begin with you deepening your trust as well for you so that you can make discerning relationship choices out there. That's really good. Awesome. What is the deeper spiritual meaning of the eclipse? So I spoke to that earlier on in the call, but spiritual eclipses typically bring in surprise experiences. I shared one earlier on, but I mean, I had another, I had a romantic partnership that began on an eclipse. Man, did it show me the truth of my own thinking? Did it show me the truth of my rose-colored glasses? Did it show me the truth of where I was not being honest with myself and where I was playing in fantasy? And so these relationship dynamics are going to come up if you're not already feeling the theme, to allow for you to see how is it that you're relating to yourself. Are you willing to be your fullest expression, or are you compromising and are you compromising yourself and not speaking up for yourself? So using a simple example of someone wants to spend some time with you, but you worked an overnight shift at the hospital. And so you're really tired, but you don't want to say no to that person because you don't want to disappoint them. You don't want to be alone. You don't want them to be angry. And so we're looking at these places where you compromise yourself because you don't want to have conflict, or because you don't want to experience not being loved. And in that, it's really inviting you to come deeper into you, deeper into loving yourself, into knowing yourself, into valuing yourself, and really this discovery of, I can't get love outside of myself anyway, because every single time I do, it betrays me. And so it's an inward experience that's going to happen out there. And to simply be open and curious as to what that could be. All right, Stephanie, I would love cards to help support me through the eclipse. What do I need to let go of? What do I need to lean into and embrace? Awesome. So it feels like, I can feel you, and there's a lot of space that's around you. I could feel that you are feeling a deeper alignment. You're feeling more settled. You're feeling more peaceful in the body and more peaceful at what is happening around you. But at the same time, you're not necessarily feeling inspired. And so the Six of Clubs is telling me that you've been taking time to almost rest and to allow yourself to integrate, to acclimate, to almost be ready for what's next. And it's in the question itself. What do I have to be ready for next? Like, what do I have to look out for? And so it's almost like this sneaky space where the mind wants to come in to ensure, oh, I need to keep everything in kosher. I need to keep everything safe. I need to make sure that nothing surprises me. And really, you are the director of your life. And so are you willing to decide, claim what it is that you want so that you can receive the inspiration in order to move forward? So your action is to look at the things that are happening around you, to see, where is it that I'm out of flow? Am I willing to take action on behalf of that so I can create more stability, more structure in my life, so that I can begin to I'm seeing, like, here your life kind of like fell away or fell apart. There were changes that happened, and here you're being invited to, like, get the Lego pieces that fell away over here and start putting them and building them in the way that you want. But you can't do that until you decide what it is that you want and begin moving that energy and that frequency through your body so that it can inspire you to say, oh, see that yellow piece over there? See that yellow piece? Get that yellow piece and put that over here. Oh, and that red piece over there, go get that red piece and put that on top. And so you're creating greater structure, stability, a deeper sense of safety within you. You're creating more stability and structure within your own resources, within your own money story. And so as you're doing this, as you're inspired and taking block by block by block and placing it, you're actually creating a deeper sense of value for you. I love that, because for you, not for who you were back here, because who you were back there built a life with a partner, with a man, I'm seeing, right? So you built it with your partner, but many of the ideas of what you built over there were not the things that you actually wanted. And so here you are, and you are deepening your own value, your own sense of resiliency, your own strength, taking these pieces and building them on your own. Now, this doesn't mean that you're going to be alone forever, but it means that you are showing you what is possible, what can be created, what can be experienced in life. And that's going to propel you forward in this, which is extraordinary. And it's the $1 million card. So it's very possible that you can begin to receive more contracts, more money, more flow of resources just by doing that. And again, we're in the month of October, which means you can build momentum with that really, really quickly. So focus forward, focus on your purpose, focus on your expression, move that out, be inspired, take the action, receive the thing. Easy peasy. Yeah. Awesome. Sharon, I am willing. I want all of this. Thank you. Time for outer actions. Yes. Judging it, me for sure. I'm excited for this open heart. Yay. Ah, Martha. It's Martha. So was that you in the question, Martha? I don't know. If I didn't answer your question, then please retype and put Martha. Hey, Doreen, how are you? Ah, you're in England. I love that. Not maybe. OG. Okay. It's very, hi, everyone. I love this. Okay, Lisa is saying, you've quite literally described what has and is happening. Even the next timeline is, of course, accurate. Thank you so much. The crack happened. Everything in me adjusted in the very best way. Love it. Time frame. Ah, awesome. Yay. That's awesome. Ashley, I'd love cards around what is going to support me most through the eclipse season and within my career. What doors are closing and what's opening up? Okay. Let's see. I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath, Ashley, and I'm going to invite you to bring focus to the back of your heart and to allow it to open. And just noticing how, as it's opening, it's moving up through the throat and up into the temples of the mind, and it's starting to shift out. But there's more energy that's moving through. Ooh, there's still more. I can still feel it. Oh my goodness. So what's going to support you right now is being with the body, allowing yourself to feel the transmutation that's taking place within your body. There's a lot of changes that you've made, but your body hasn't had the opportunity to catch up and to integrate to these changes that you've actually made and some of the decisions that you've decided to experience. And so there's this catching up, which is actually slowing you down from taking the actions or from actually hearing the messages for you to take the actions. Yeah. Whew. We're gonna allow the energy to continue to move. So yeah, 9 of clubs, you are moving through a shifting. There's the past limitations. The past is trying to leave, but it's being held in the body because you're acting. It's not that you're acting too fast, but it feels as though you're acting out of inspiration. And because you're just doing, you're not allowing the body to rest and for the mind to catch up with the body in order for you to experience the brand new. So it's actually creating a filter and a lens of how you're seeing things. And so you're taking actions on behalf of your desires that are too much, because it's almost like you're taking 2 steps forward, so happy and excited and proud that you took these actions, but you have to come back a couple steps because you did too much or you overstepped. And so coming back to the moment, coming back to presence, it almost feels like what is being activated right now is an experience of the body that is, slow your roll, slow down. Come back to your wholeness, come back to the presence. You're forgetting, your mind is going so fast that it's like forgetting parts of the body. And so you're not moving from an aspect of your wholeness. And so you're being invited to trust the heart, to trust your heart to guide you into your next action. And if your next action is to slow down, to rest, to be, then do it. The mind is letting go of a pattern of I need to do in order to maintain the thing. And the heart's like, no, that's actually a distortion. Let the distortion go. This is a way of being from the past. And you kind of know it didn't really work because you were tired all the time. So land back into the body, come back into a deeper sense of presence, trust where the heart is taking and leading you. Take the actions to rest, take the actions to integrate from the heart because it feels like it's moving from the heart out. And in that, it's actually going to allow for you to receive more support and more from your physical experience, because your physical experience is actually changing. It's actually shifting and you can feel it, but you can't yet see it. So you're taking double-stepped actions in order to make it be. So there's a little bit of control and manipulation. And so as you start to do this, you start to deepen your own trust for, one, your connection to the heart, your connection to source, your connection to the divine. And you start to actually begin to see how the universe plays with you, because you start to see from alignment, I'm now attracting and magnetizing the experiences and support that is available to me. And I'm beginning to believe it more deeply. I'm beginning to trust it more deeply. I'm beginning to believe in myself more. So, within my career and what doors are closing, what's opening up is an experience for more than what you've thought was possible. What's closing is these doors that you've actually been pissed off at and been pointing at and kicking for some time, and you actually know. And so you don't need the cards to tell you. Your heart's been telling you what's been closing this entire time. It's just that you haven't been wanting to trust what your intuition is saying because it's outside of your scope of comfort. And our intuition is inviting in the death not of the body, but of the body mind, so that you can experience more and greater beyond what you actually think is possible, if you allow it to be. Facebook user, I would love a card for the new moon. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Well, Martha, I see like so many Facebook users. That's why. Um, so for Facebook user, I'm going to pull a card for the new moon. So I'm going to invite you to open up the crown. There's a lot of energy that's wanting to download through the mind. There's a lot of information that's wanting to come through the mind. And so I don't know if you're experiencing headaches or experiencing a little bit of dizziness. I'm going to invite you to open, and you can just do that by bringing your focus to the top of the crown, breathing and inviting it to just open and open a little bit more. And I'm going to invite anyone in the group to do that as well. And there's like a rush. Can you feel that rush of energy that's flowing through? It's actually creating this cleansing sensation of the mind. Yeah. Well, you just receive from the divine. There's a lot of energy that's been flowing in, a lot of ideas, a lot of frequency that's been coming in through the head. Now, you're not necessarily going to understand it or be able to interpret it right in the beginning, but to imagine that you have all of this light that is flowing through, that is information that the body will translate later, or the mind will help you to understand more deeply. You're not going to get the whole story of what it is that is flowing through you, but to imagine that you're being supported by all of this light that will help to inspire this cleansing, this detoxing within the body, so that you can now begin to receive more clarity of what it is that you're wanting to experience, but you're not letting yourself experience or not letting yourself have. So allowing yourself to receive all of this information, to receive this energy. And you can do this by just sitting in meditation, or by being still and focusing on opening the mind, when noticing if you are present or in the body. And so that you can begin to experience all of this energy that's coming through. It feels as though this is also happening when you go to sleep. And so it almost feels like sometimes you feel like your sleep is disrupted, but this is just more energy, more frequency that's coming through. It could be messages that you're hearing that's whispered in through from your spirit guides. Your action is to really trust. This is a divine feminine frequency that's coming through. That is offering support and information that is guiding you. So will you allow yourself to receive? Will you allow yourself to be inspired? Really take an opportunity to journal perhaps, or to do some automatic writing, to feel into what is it that I want? What is it that I want to experience? And am I willing to allow myself to have it? As I do, there will be some inspired actions, perhaps some messages that come out through your journaling or through your meditation. And it's going to lead to King of Spades. Like, you've got all spades, which is like, I wish I knew who you were. But it is going to lead to a deeper sense of mastery with you and the divine, like you and your connection with the divine, you and your understanding of your purpose here. It's not going to tell you what to do, but it's going to remind you of what you love, and will definitely inspire you in how you relate to yourself, how it is that you relate to God, perhaps, or the divine, whatever it is you want to name it or label it. And it's going to inspire you into actions. So right now, your intuition is being heightened, it's being opened, it's being developed. It's all inner work, it's all inner patterning that's happening within your own body. And the way that you are going to see yourself will be different. But because it feels so nuanced, because it's all black cards and it's all inner work, I feel like it's more of an experience of an inner soul journey. Because I don't necessarily feel people around you. And so it feels like you'll begin to see the feedback later, not yet. I feel maybe 3 weeks. But right now, this is a journey that is from within to help you to navigate, what do I want? What do I desire? There's some energy moving out through the back of your head right now. So we're just going to allow that to move. There's some pain points that you have from your past that is wanting to just kind of be eradicated, to be released. And so you're being invited to leave the past in the past, to allow yourself to experience new and more. And I feel like it's going to be a very profound journey for you. So that's kind of cool. Awesome. Yay. Spot on. Love it. Good morning. Awesome, Joanne. I love that. I had a romantic relationship eclipsed out of my life as I was questioning, do I need to break up with this person? Not anymore. Awesome, Ashley. Hi, everyone. Okay. Facebook user number 2 or 3. All right. I'll take cards if I'm not too late. Nope, you are not too late. Let's see. I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath. Some energy moving through the heart, from the guts, moving up. And it's wanting to stay. I feel like you've received some new information. You don't necessarily like that information, so it's having a hard time being digested or moving down. And so you're just kind of holding it in place. You don't know what to do with it. Yeah, it almost feels like you're in shock. Like you received this information, whatever that information is. You know, it could be you're not getting a paycheck this week. Could be anything, but that information that you received was a little bit shocking to you. And so your body's having this trauma response that is resonant to how you used to experience information or news or change in the past. And so you would freeze. And so in this, you're being invited to allow this energy to move through the body, to be present with the body and with the mind, to notice what it is that you're feeling so you can break through this pattern of freezing. There's nothing wrong with the freezing, but it's actually holding you in place, and it's triggering the thoughts of the past and how you used to relate in love with others. It feels like a mother, maybe a mother figure in your life. And so that is wanting to be released with this eclipse energy, with this new moon energy, because it's shaping how you relate with others and how you receive love with others. So that's interesting, just because we started with something that you can digest. So I'm curious as to what the information is that you received. If this is actually resonating for you. Your action is to connect with others in love. And so if you were to feel into yourself, in fact, I'm asking you to go back to 4. If you were to see yourself at 4 years old as this beautiful inner little child that is within you, how did that 4-year-old want to be loved? How did she want to experience love? How did she want to be nurtured? And are you willing to give that to yourself and allow yourself to receive that from others? From what I'm seeing in your experience, there are many people in your life that have changed their way of being. They've actually grown up. And so even if it were this mother figure, if this person is still in your life or showing up as someone else, as your muse, that they're trying to show you that they've changed, that they've grown, but you're still holding yourself back from receiving their love because of that experience here in the past. And so you're being invited to nurture and to love yourself in such a way that you allow yourself to receive the love that has always been around you, that has always been available to you, but you couldn't see it. And to imagine that the healing can come from giving that to yourself first. What did that 4-year-old desire? And can I feel what that feels like in my body? And can I bring that part of me back in? Can I see myself as whole? And as I do, I experience a release in my mind, a release of the past. I release the trauma itself. I release how I see others. I begin to see them anew. I begin to allow myself to receive love that is available for me. I begin to love myself more deeply, which is key. And And so it's a shift in how you relate to yourself and how you then begin to relate from others, which is beautiful. It's like this, it really feels like your mantra is, it is safe to love and be loved by others. It is safe to love and be loved by others, and allowing yourself to be in that. And so there's some energy that's moving out through your scapula, which feels like if I was a good girl, a bad girl, or if I was a good girl, if I did the things, if I was quiet, if I was nice, if I did everything that I was told I would do, I'd be a good girl. And so we're letting go of that identity, of that belief that you have to be a certain way in order to receive love from anyone. And so it's moving. Awesome. Okay. Facebook user. So time yet for a card, please, and thank you. Okay, I want to say Facebook user with the card, please. Green, black, green heart. Oh my gosh, I can see your face, but I can't see your name. That's okay. Don't have to know. I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath. We're going to allow the heart, the back of the heart, to open. And to invite in an opening in the throat. And ask yourself the question, what would it be like to be my own authority in my life? What would it be like for me to choose to move in the direction of what I wanted? What if I led myself? What if I didn't need people to tell me what to do? What if I could just do it myself? And what if that was just possible now? How would that inspire me to be? So, Seven of Diamonds. There's this holding back from being your fullest expression because of you've had experiences in your past that have held you in place of not necessarily valuing yourself. And so there have been experiences in your life, just like everyone else, where it's very similar to the last person. If I wasn't a good girl, if I wasn't quiet, if I didn't listen, if I danced too much, if I spoke too loud, if I sang too loud, if I played too much, like all of these things I'm feeling, if I did all of those things, I wasn't valued by my family, by my parents, by the people in my life. It didn't matter what I did. It didn't matter if I played the instrument really, really good. It didn't matter any of those things. I just wasn't good enough. And so I firmly believe that in my body, and I hold that to be true. And so this is wanting to leave the body. This is wanting to leave your own mental thinking. And this is wanting to shift within your patterns, because your patterns are connected to that, which means that you have a movement that happens because the neurology, it's so bound that you have, if something happens, you already know exactly what you're going to do in order to people please or to be valuable for them. But it's creating this sense of betrayal. And so all of these people that are in your life have betrayed you because you yourself haven't yet landed into a deeper sense of who you are and what your value is. And so there's an opportunity here to break through this pattern of people pleasing or of compromising yourself, of being afraid to say no, by coming back to the mind. So your action is to come into a deeper sense of mastery with the mind. And so noticing, as I'm feeling this, sometimes it's like, and we're just going to use an example of your father. It's like you're in the kitchen and you're cutting some tomatoes and you're getting dinner ready, and then your father flies into your brain, and now you're upset because you're in the past thinking about a story that happened when you got in trouble because you were skipping outside and it was getting dark. And so now you're thinking about that. You're not cutting tomatoes anymore. You are, but you're not in your body because you're back over there getting yelled at by your dad. And oh, my thumbs up. And so in that, there's the mastery comes with, am I willing to be so present in the moment that I notice and I catch myself when my mind goes off into and wanders. And so when my mind wanders, I can laugh at myself and just say, oh, that was funny. My dad's not even here. So I'm just going to come back to cutting the tomatoes, and I'm going to come back to focusing in where I want to go. What do I want to focus on? What do I want to experience? What is my dream? How do I want to express myself? How do I want to be? And will I allow myself to stay there so that now the mind can start to release these patterns of your own thinking because you're so present here now? So what if the key was just presence? What if the key was just being noticing when you went off on a tangent or on a story and laughing at it? Because in the laughing at it, you actually transmute the energy that's within the body. So as you do that, the result is a karmic response. So not only are you going to be shifting with your mind because of the mastery, but it's actually going to create a release and a detox within the body, within your emotions. It almost feels like all of the stories kind of just have this opportunity to rise up and just go. Like in the summer when you see all of those bugs that are like, and you walk through them when you're going for a walk, like all of them just get to go and release and take with it a detoxing within the body because it's held in the cellular structure, which now allows for you to experience yourself in a new way, experience your relationships in a new way because of the feedback you begin to receive from others. This also feels like, it really does feel like a cleansing that happens within the body, a detoxing that happens within the body, because as you do this, the resonance within your body begins to shift. You start to move into a higher frequency, which calls in higher experiences for you. But again, it's going to begin with the mind. Where do I want to go? Where am I going to focus? And if I focus back here, it's not going to get me anywhere. Yeah. Wow. Let me know how that resonates. I am very curious. All right. Facebook user card, please. Okay. There's a lot of energy moving in through this group. There's a lot of connection to value that's wanting to release, because I'm really feeling it in that area of the scapula, which is where we hold all of the, I got to be a good girl, good wife, good career person, good business person, good coach, but it's all feminine related. I have to be a good girl, a good woman in order to be valued and loved. So we're just letting that begin to release and turn back to source. All right, Facebook user. So what's happening for you? This is connected to what I'm feeling in the group. So thank you for allowing for this transmutation to take place for the group. What's happening for you is you're being invited, or you're seeing your experiences, and your experience around you is changing. You're being invited to continue to make strides, continue to choose higher value or make choices based on higher value. As I'm feeling you, I feel like I know who you are. I'm seeing your space, and as you're making all of these choices based on higher value and seeing yourself more deeply and acting on behalf of this. And you're being invited to continue to move forward because there's these threads that are wanting to leave. There are these threads that are wanting to release. And you're also noticing that the feedback from others is a little bit, you're being a little bit cautious with that, because the feedback from others is a little bit, it's like there was a time where I changed so much. And in that change, my youngest actually looked at me and she said, I don't know how to talk to you anymore. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, I don't know how to talk to you because you used to get so angry and you're not. And you used to be anxious and you're not. And you used to, so I'm used to you being angry and anxious and you're not. So these changes have happened, and people are not sure how to respond or how to be with you because you're not reacting in the way that you did. It feels like there's just more patience that's available. And so your action is to continue to allow this to happen, to continue to allow people to acclimate to who you are as you continue to move forward and allow these threads to release. Which is beautiful, right? And so you're allowing for it's to bring in more flow and to notice those places where you don't have flow in your life, where you're still a little bit rigid in your own thinking, in the way that things are supposed to be, in the way that you are supposed to be connected to God, universe, source. It almost feels like you're sanctimonious. What an interesting word. You're sanctimonious with structure, with spiritual structure, like, oh, I'm going to have a Reiki healing today. And so I got to go make sure that I smudge everything. And I got to make sure that I tune myself in. I got to make sure I do all these things. Like, you're very sanctimonious in the way that you do things, and you don't have to. And it's not that it's not a good practice. It's that you're in this resonance that has this availability of it's just happening because of your morphogenic field, because of your resonance. And so it's this lightening up of the structures that you have in place, that it doesn't have to be so rigid, that you can allow yourself to be inspired into, oh, this is what's next, and oh, this is what's next. And not only in your own, like your own spiritual sense, but how you are in your family, within your home, within the structure of those things. Things are opening up so that you can see, oh, this Lego piece is just going to be moved over here. It's not falling away. It's just being shifted. It's not even a pivot. It's just a shift. And so it's brilliant. And so as you continue to do this, you actually begin to continue to receive blessings from the divine, blessings from your higher self. You will actually hear more deeply oh, this is what's next, and this is my action, and I'm inspired to go here, and I got to call this person, and a continuation in the raising of the frequency, the vibration within your own body, which will move out into your field, which will now experience greater feedback and more. So that's kind of cool. Really, really good. Hi, B. Okay. Hello, hello. All right. Me, please. Cool. All right. What's going on? Okay, Facebook user. Are you experiencing tightness in the jaw, like a lot of clenching, or maybe a lot of grinding while you sleep? Perhaps you're grinding when you are awake and when you're doing things. There's a lot of tension that's moving out through the jaw, which some people say is a lot of anger, or like anger from the past that we've had. I'm a grinder, so that's wanting to release, but it feels like it's creating some ear aches for you, or some pressure aches, pressure headaches in your head and along your jawline and down into the throat. So we're going to invite that to open and to release. It's also connected to your shoulder. So yeah. Ooh. Yeah. And so I'm not a doctor. So I'm not going to advise anything other than perhaps checking that out. Maybe getting a night guard, or talking to your dentist or ear throat specialist, just to see if there's anything that can help to alleviate that, and to tap into it to see if we can just simply release the emotions that are in there. But it really does feel like it's connected to your left side and your left ear as it's moving. And it's moving. So yeah. Okay. Oh, all inner. So they're all black cards, which tell me that it's all inner work. So what's happening for you right now is you're having an experience, it's a karmic experience where you're noticing your life. So when you take a look at your life, are you enjoying what you are experiencing? Do you like your life right now? Do you love it? And if not, what is it that you're wanting to change? Because your thinking is bringing along what you're experiencing, what you're perceiving, what you're seeing, and you're not necessarily taking action with that, because sometimes the 6 of Clubs doesn't want to take action. So, or they don't take action until life is happening to them and they're forced to take action, which feels as though they're not making a choice. So for you, when you are looking at your life, where is it that you are wanting to experience more? Um, where is it that you're almost waiting for someone else to tell you what to do, when really and truly you're being inspired with your higher self to choose to move in a direction, to pick a thing? It almost feels like you've got 5 things that you like, or 5 things that you want to do or journey with, but you're not doing anything. You're actually waiting for it to like rise up and come towards you as a gift, and you are the chooser of your experience. And so there's something also that's connected to how you perceive things that's wanting to be shaken loose. So we'll use the example of it's Friday the 13th, right? And so many people with the idea of Friday the 13th, oh my God, it's bad luck and we're supposed to be careful. And we shouldn't, like my dad, don't drive, don't do this, don't do that. Like all of this unluckiness that comes with the idea of Friday the 13th. And really and truly, it's actually a blessed day. It's actually a lucky day where we can receive great miracles. And so in that, coming back to thinking that Friday 13 is bad luck, we create this lens of this is how I'm going to filter my day. So I'm going to look for the bad luck so I can avoid it. I'm going to pay attention so that I can not experience bad luck. But that's actually all that you're calling in. You're calling in an experience of, oh, wow, I sideswiped that. And wow, I was careful there. And instead of just experiencing life. And so are you willing to shake up how you see and how you're perceiving life to open it up into more possibilities? You're actually having a change that's happening for you. Can you change the way you perceive life? Can you change it so that you are the chooser of your life, so that you can move in the direction of what it is that you want? Again, you've got 5 things that I see in front of you, and you're waiting for it to arrive when you are the one that's like at the buffet, and you're like, okay, well, I choose this one. I choose this one. And so to choose it and to decide that this is where I'm going, this is where I'm headed, will begin a journey for you that is almost soul searching, that is expansive, that is profound, so that you can begin to experience the materialization of it. And so you're being inspired to shift, to change, to grow, and you'll begin to see the result of it. But the result will happen from within first before you see it in your physical experience. The result of it is from a spiritual perspective. So this is a spiritual journey. It is an inner journey where you're releasing your own thinking limitations and the idea and the belief that you don't think you deserve more. And so you're increasing your own deservability, your own opening awareness to possibility, which will create a shift from within that will be experienced in the mind, in the body, in the heart, and then be manifested in the physical world. So it does feel like you will attain what it is that you desire, but it's about taking the journey, and everything is about the journey. And so, yeah, that's exciting. Let me know how that resonates for you. And yay. Awesome. Hello, everyone. So I think that I got everyone. I feel like there's one more. So there's Sonali. Hopefully you're still on the call. And so let's pull cards for Sonali, and then we'll end the call. All right. Excuse me. There is energy moving. I'm going to invite you, Sonali, to just take a breath. It feels like you are, I don't know, It almost feels like you're jogging. There's just so much movement that's happening right now. And so I'm going to invite you to come into the body and to settle, to be present. And if you're jogging, then please continue. But it feels like you weren't necessarily fully embodied. I didn't even shuffle properly. Hold on. Yeah. And taking a breath. Notice that you didn't take a breath. You breathed, but you stopped yourself short. And so filling the belly and the chest and exhaling. Okay. Interesting. I'm being invited to show you the results. So the result is Ace of Spades, which is you're breaking through something. So right now in your experience, it feels like there's a shakeup in your own stability, your own security. It can be within your own finances, within your own home. It could be that you're wanting to expand and move out into something more, but you're being held by these fixed ideas of how things are supposed to look, what you've been taught by your parents and by society, by your culture. And this idea that you can't have more than what you want unless you work really, 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 really hard for it. And so there's this striving that's been building this momentum within your own body, but your body's been in hypervigilance for so long that you're almost experiencing, what is it called? I can't remember what it's called right now, but I can feel it in my back. It's this feeling of you're always tired all the time, and so it feels like it's within your own endocrine system. So you're feeling tired all the time, so you don't have the energy to do the things because you're always moving, always doing something, and always so focused with the mind to, I got to go and do A, B, C, D, E. And once I get to A, then I've got to go to F, and then I've got to go to G. And I got all of these things that are structured in my mind, my way of being, that it almost feels like you have your entire life mapped out. And so, in having your life mapped out, you're now not necessarily experiencing the miracles or the possibilities that are available because there's a rigidity in your thinking, and your spirit and your soul and your body is saying, enough, enough, enough. We have to stop. And it's not, we have to stop forever. We just have to stop for a moment, catch your breath, and actually pay attention to what it is that you are experiencing, what it is that you're wanting. Is that actually what you want, or is that what someone else told you you're supposed to want? And to really allow yourself to assess that. Are you living your dream, or are you living someone else's? And in that living someone else's, are you doing that in order to please another person so that you have love and money? And so we're just going to allow some energy in the heart to move. And so there's some sadness and some energy that's moving. Your action is to look at how is it that you are relating with other people. Are you relating with other people through contract? Is it a contractual way of being? This can be if you are some sort of leader, or if you have a business, it can be business contracts that you have, but it does feel as though you're being invited to assess the way that you are valuing others in your life. Are you valuing them for their money, for their body, for their things, for the idea, this conception of what success is? Or are you relating with them based on not necessarily tangible things, but the value within yourself and wanting to share that in your experience? So I think the best example would be, my parents really wanted me to go to school. Obviously, I did. And I wanted to be a psychologist. And partway through my experience of studying to be a psychologist, I had a breakdown. And in that breakdown, I had this idea that I wanted to be an interior designer. And so I told my mom, hey, I'm going to be an interior designer. I'm quitting university. I'm going to be an interior designer. Flow with me in this. My mom cried. And she cried because she wanted me to just graduate and do what I said I was going to do, which was be a psychologist. And I interpreted that as, oh, I'm not valuable if I don't do it. And she showed me that because she cried. And so I went on to do the things that my mom did or asked me to do because one, my value was held in it, my identity was held in it as the firstborn daughter, my all of these things. And so we were connecting based on what we did, not based on who we were. And so when you think about your relationships, is it the same thing? Do your parents or do people in your life value you for the certificates on the wall, for the things that you've attained, or are they valuing you for your humanness, for your being, for your soul, for what you express in the world? And are you willing to allow yourself to shake that up so that you can begin to see people in their wholeness and so that you can begin to experience these relationships from that place of wholeness? Doesn't mean that money won't come. It actually allows for this need to look a certain way to fall away so that what can present is your fullest expression. And in that fullest expression, it actually allows for things that you didn't think were possible or things that you didn't think could be attained to come into your life in new ways. It really feels like possibilities available. So as you continue to do this, there will be a rebirth of who you thought you were, of who you think you were supposed to be, so that you can land into a deeper understanding of who you are in your fullest expression. This soul that flows through this body, this deep connection to your the wholeness of who you are and how you want to express in your life. It almost feels like in this death, we're going to call it this death and rebirth, there's this softness that drops in, and this graciousness that drops in that really does feel like it's resonant to your higher self. So I'm really excited for you. What an amazing reading. All right. So for anyone that hasn't connected with me, I'm going to invite you to connect with me to schedule a call where we dive into your numbers. We dive into your birth card and to your ruling number. It's a free call, and we answer some questions about you so that you can see yourself just a little bit more deeply. All right. Wishing you all the most amazing day. Thank you so much for joining me today, for your energy, for your curiosity, your questions, and have an amazing weekend and happy new moon solar eclipse. Lots of love, everyone. Bye for now.